us in Rotary, it's not good enough for us to just do a project. When we do a project, it has to make an impact and it has to be sustainable.
So the advocacy component of the project played key role to ensure participation of the various stakeholders in the project.
We seek to partner governmental agencies and other stakeholders so that we can work together to ensure sustainability of our systems.
So we employed tools that facilitate involvement of illiterate and literate men and women.
So we did trainings for advocates in WASH policies for them to understand the various policies that are working within the sector.
The advocates generally, during their engagements, they do what we call monitoring, coaching, and mentoring. And for monitoring, there are some tools.
One tool that we used was called the spider web.
This is a performance assessment tool, which is used to assess the performance of the stakeholders who have been put in charge of either a sanitation facility or a water facility.
The spider web basically guides us on our operations so that we know what we are to do for facility maintenance, we know what we are to do for the consumables, we know what we are to do for provision of food safety and all those things.
It helps the committee people assess their own performance, and it helps them also assess the effectiveness of what they are doing. It also helps them to plan what to do and how to involve the community people.
We also train them in community engagement, but most Rotarians have different classifications or have different backgrounds. So we need to build their capacity for them to appreciate and enhance their skills in community engagement. We use a tool called Scorecard, which they use in engaging their communities in assessing their roles and responsibilities. And then we also use the scorecard, community scorecard, which they use in engaging the service providers as well as the community service users.
So the communities, through the use of the scorecards, are trying to assess underwater delivery. These are the things that we should have. But currently, these are the things we have. They establish the gap. Then they move on to the next, that is the dialogue, where they engage the duty bearers to engage them on the gaps, on what should have been done that had not been done.
Every club had a club committee for the WASH, and these committee members, you are required to stay on the membership of the committee for the entire duration so that the people will know you and relate to you better. And they were required to pay at least 6 site visits.
People will go on field trips. Some of it helped along by fufu stops. It's the wonderful stories that are linked to these things that make the project. It's how you can work as a volunteer, how you can work and still be observant, because the reporting didn't start when they got back. Now the reporting starts when they leave town. We're about to leave. On the way, they tell you what is happening. So you are not with them 100% of the time, but you are present when they arrive. Then they tell you, you see what they're doing, and you see the end. And it changes you to want to be part of it.
In schools, where we have also provided facilities, we also have a team we call the school health committees. They are also taking through training so that they will also be able to manage the toilets provided them in a sustainable manner.
Since we introduced in the health club, we're doing a lot of activities with the people in the schools. So voluntary, those who are indulged in it, we assign them to certain duties. such as how to clean the environment tidy, including the facility you people have given us.
I and my colleagues do a lot of things in the health club, especially when it comes to our personal hygiene and how to keep our environment clean and how to educate people so that they can keep their body clean and the environment clean.
We raised a fund and we had our refrigerator. Yes, we are selling water at minimum prices so that the children can afford. So the little that we get, we use it to support our health club. Some will come to school with the issue of sanitary pad and as such. We see a lot of ladies are in, so we give it to them free with the aid of that amount that we get through the selling of the water.
Madam, when are you?
The game is a bit like Ludo, or maybe a cross between Ludo and Snake and Ladders. But it also has cards that give activities that should be done. So if you land on particular spots on the game, you will have to answer a question or take a card, and it has something relevant to watch so that it helps you to look at the education, how well the education has gone, whether people are aware of what they're supposed to do or what is required of them, and makes the game exciting.
There's what I would say attitudinal change, behavioral change in the case. You need not to tell a child from Bofendi Basic to wash their hands after visiting the laboratory. You don't need to do that. It is imbibing them as a result of the advocacy that you guys come and do and as a result of the program.
Anytime a facility is being handed over to the beneficiary, we have what we call the beneficiary education system or process. You take them through the process of using the facility. You don't assume that they know how to use it. So in going through that training, you also teach them how to maintain these facilities. As Rotarians, we are looking at sustainability. We don't want to provide the facility, then at a point in time, we have to come in again. So we take them through some maintenance process on how to sustain and maintain the usage of the facilities provided.
We have a team we call Water and Sanitation Management Team. They are taken through training, and the training is supposed to build their capacity and prepare them and equip them with certain skills so they will be able to manage this infrastructure in a sustainable manner.
So we come about, we do inspections, we assess the work that's being done, we look at the condition that the project is in, and then we interact with the parties involved in it so that we can guarantee that after we've moved away from the project will still be maintained and it will serve the purpose for which it was done.
At the school levels, we've been meeting with the SMC, PTA, and then the school health clubs to also empower them to be responsive in terms of the roles that have been assigned to them.
As part of the training for the WSMTs, they are taken through strategies as to how they can mobilize funding. And we have a number of strategies that we introduce them to. First, we have the pay as you fetch. This is the system where you pay before you fetch water. We normally advise them to apply this method at places where we have mechanized systems. So either the mechanized or the small towns. The pay as you fetch is mandatory. But for communities where we have the boreholes fitted with hand pump, they have the option to decide to use other fund mobilization methods. And we have some few. We have the levies, that is the household levy or the individual adult levy. And these levies are collected monthly. Then also we have what we call the kilo deductions. These are done in communities where they produce cocoa. So during the harvest time, when you have harvested your cocoa and it's time to sell, when you get to the cocoa cratchy will take 1 kilo. That's your contribution towards the wash or the water fund. Then they also have special levies that they also do. So the idea is that the community must find innovative, creative, but acceptable way of mobilizing money so that they can take care of the water facilities.
yɛte hanom a sɛnea ɛbɛsɛe no yɛnya nkakrakra ne yɛde ato hɔ ɔma akɔhu mpanyinfoɔ yɛde akɔto foturo ɛkyɛ sɛ sɛe a ne akɔfa bi amena bɛyɛ ne yie
anaasɛ ɛbɛtumi ayɛ extension koraa ɛkɔ baabi a nsuo no bi ɛneɛ.
We think that the learnings from this project will help in delivering better water wash projects around the world.
We're very proud of it, and we're going to continue to work with, hopefully with USAID and their partner global community who does the implementation portion of their project. It's been a very successful phase 1 and phase 2 collaboration, and I don't think it's over yet.